Hello everybody. In this video or this section, we're going to be looking at objective 3, steps to solve quadratic equations and problem solving. And I'm going to also go over we're going to try one together. Okay. So the first thing we need to understand is what are the actual steps to solve um, quadratic equations. So remember, what are the steps? Well, we covered that last week. Let me get my little marker here. The first step was find the, oh no, I don't like that color. Find the factors, or in other words, factor the equation. Okay, it's the same thing. We say factor the equation or find the factors. Okay, the next step was set each equation equal to 0, or set each term equal to 0. And then the last part was solve for the variable. You should have completed this activity on Friday of last week. Now, the only difference is for word problems, we need to add a couple more steps. See, steps 3, 4, 5 are the same as 1, 2, 3 of quadratic equations, but we need to add a couple more things. The first thing is we need to read through the word problem. And then the second step is we need to highlight, underline, or identify key information. Oop, that looks like a T. Let me make it like an information. Okay, the other three steps are the same. Find the fact. Once we set up the equation, we need to see if we need to factor it, set the factor for each term equal to 0, and then solve for the variable. Please make sure you start learning these steps. It's very important. I'm going to go over an example here in let's try one together, okay? This is a statement. The perimeter of a triangle is 85 feet. Find the length of its sides. That was step 1. Read through the problem. Step 2 is identify or pull out key information. So here's what I want to say. Perimeter, I need to know what that word means. I have a triangle, and it's 85 feet. And it wants me to, I'm going to say, what is it actually asking me? The length of each sides, okay? So I have a diagram below. Here's my triangle. It says that the perimeter is 85 feet. So we have to remember, what is perimeter? Perimeter equals the length. Oops. Sorry. The length of the outside edges. The length of the outside edges. So it's this plus this plus this. Now don't get confused. If these were just numbers, you would just add them together, but they're equations. So now you just have to add the equations together. So let's go here. 2x plus 2x plus 5 plus x squared plus 3. Okay, what do we do there? Now we've got all these terms. What's going to happen? Well, all we need to do is combine the like terms. Okay, after that, we'll have our quadratic equation. So let's start with combining like terms. 2x. This has an x and an x. So I'm going to combine those. I've got 1x squared. So let me write that here. X squared in order. Highest exponent to lower orders. 2 plus 2 is 4x. I'm done with those. And then 5 plus 3 is 8. Okay, so now this is my quadratic equation. Remember, I'm going to assume that it's equal to 0 so that I can solve using what we've already learned. The first step, now that I have my equation, this is just the first step, or the first part. Now I'm at step number 3 where I need to factor. Okay? So I need to figure out what times what gives me x squared plus 4x plus 8. I've got the variable x. I need to figure out what numbers multiplied give me 8. Oops, that's just an m. It's supposed to be me. Give me 8. Okay, 8. But when I add, I get 4. Okay, so what are the multiples of 8? 8 and 1, 2 and 4, and that's about it. So 1 and 8 is not going to give me 4 when I add it, but neither is, if I multiply 2 and 4 together, that's, 8 and 1. Okay, you know what, guys? I made a mistake. Now I know why it's not making sense. It's not equal to 0. It told us that the perimeter is equal to 85. So I need to put 85 here. Okay. Now let me do a little bit of algebra. Remember, I do want 0 on the right side of the equal. Right here, I want that to be 0. So I'm just going to rewrite this as x squared plus 4x plus 8 equals 85. I'm going to subtract 85 from both sides. So those cancel. X squared plus 4x. And that's going to be 70. Is it 77? Let me do it here off to the side. I got my little scratch paper. 85 minus 8. And that's 77. Okay. So now that I fixed it, I got to figure out what numbers multiplied together give me, give me 77, but when I add them, I get 4, okay? So there's really only one combination, 7 times 11. 7 and 11 is 77. And 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. One of those needs to be positive. Okay, I just keep making mistakes left and right. 8 minus 85 is negative 77. So I want negative 77, which now it makes sense. So 11, what combination of signs here? So negative 7, positive 11. Negative 7 times 11 is 77, and 11 minus 7 is 4. Okay, so now I'm back on the right track. Sorry I made so many mistakes here. I actually haven't solved this problem before. Now I'm going to set, so this was, let me see, this was step 1, read the problem. Step 2 was highlight the important information. Step 3 was find the factors. So this is step 3 right here. Now I'm going to do step 4, set each term equal to 0. And now I'm going to do step number 5, which is solve for the variable. And those are my answers. Okay. I did make quite a few mistakes. I apologize for that. If it's confusing, we'll go over it in class and I'll tell you why I hadn't solved this problem and I wasn't paying attention to the details. It's also kind of late at night here where I'm recording this, so I apologize for the mistakes. If you get lost, let me know and we'll go over it in class. Now, the next section, I want you all to show me what you know. You got this. Answer number 1 and 2 on your own. Well, you can work with your groups or your table partners, ask each other for help. Set up the problem at least before you ask me for help so I can check your work. And then I need you to work on number 3. Now, number 3 is a very challenging problem. It's similar to the one I showed you together, but you have to remember the Pythagorean theorem. And that's the one that says a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where this is c and the leg is a and this is b. Okay, you'll need to use that to figure out what it's asking you to find here. Okay, please let me know if you'll have any questions once you're done with the practice problems. I want you guys to go ahead and move down and try to answer this question on your own. Summarizing your own words, the 2 steps that we added for problem solving from solving quadratic equations. So we already had 3 steps before. We added 2 steps up front. And tell me, why do you think they're important, and put those in your own words, please. Let me rewrite this Pythagorean theorem because it looks terrible. Okay, good luck, guys. Let me know where y'all need help.